Welcome to Life Unravelled, where we unravel life's little mysteries. Today we're talking about operations, which are number sentences: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. And those have so many different ways, and the language of the mathematical concepts is really important, that we can give the children an understanding of which different languages we use, that it all really means the same thing. It can be a little bit tricky, so let's go through it in a little bit more detail. So let's look at the language of maths. An environment that's rich in numbers and counting will actually promote the learning of those mathematical concepts, like what a number is, what the name 1 represents. Also, it promotes the different language of maths, what red is, what the shape of a block is, whether it's a square or a round block. And in turn, that will then promote numeracy. And numeracy is the understanding of mathematical concepts. So what we really want to do is to present to our kids an environment that's rich in all of these different concepts, all of this different language that we're using. And one of the hardest things for us to teach our children is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. These are very abstract concepts for kids. And so we really need to, from a very early age, right from when they're 2, really start to teach them about these different concepts. So let's look in detail about addition. Now, here are 8 different words that we use that mean exactly the same thing. How confusing is that? Addition can be said add, plus, addition, in all, sum, the total, altogether, both, tally, and more than. So all of these words mean to add something. And what we're talking about is taking one thing and putting it with another thing, and together they make a total amount. Now it's really, really tricky for kids to understand this, and by playing games such as getting our popsicle sticks and putting them all together and counting them out and then grouping all of them together in one group and say that this is the number, that will actually really help our kids. By counting the toys that they have out, or the number of times that they actually go down the slide, that also helps them. You can say, okay, that's once, now you've gone down another time, so 1 plus 1 equals 2. You've had 2 slides. And then you can say, oh, you've had another slide. So that's 2 plus 1 equals 3 slides. Yay! And you actually go through. By using this opportunity to introduce them to addition, it's in a fun way and it's just part of their general everyday life. So they're actually learning it and they're able to then apply it in other areas. So if you think there are so many words that you have to learn for addition, well, subtraction, there are 8 different ways of saying the same thing. Less, minus, take away, the difference, left over, remains, subtract and less than. All of these words mean exactly the same thing, which is take away, subtraction. And again, you teach this in exactly the same way as what you taught addition, just in their everyday life. You have 2 pieces of apple, you eat 1, and you're left with 1 piece of apple. And so that is an easy way to teach them just in their everyday eating. Some other ways of subtraction are when you have a building and you knock 3 over, how many are left? It's understanding where those opportunities are in your everyday life. That is the hardest part. But once you identify them, then what you can do is you can start using this language in your everyday life and as part of your everyday routine. And that way the children have a very good understanding of the mathematical language and start to understand those mathematical concepts. Multiplication and division are concepts which are generally taught in a much older child, generally around about 8 to 10 years of age. The different words that you can use I've listed here, and you can have a look through them, and they are quite confusing. They are not things that I would teach a little one at all, and I think it's best that you just use them in your everyday life if you can, but don't focus on them. You're much better to focus on addition and subtraction, and so that they understand those concepts rather than groups of and multiplying and times tables. That way what you're ending up with is a child that has a very deep understanding of addition and subtraction, so that when they go to a multiplication and division, they can easily understand that concept. And you can't have a number sentence without an equals. So equals is or are, the same as, equals or results in, or result is. And if you can use those words, that terminology every now and then with the kids, then they will get a better understanding of it. These concepts that we're looking at, the operations, are an advanced concept. This is not something that a 2-year-old can really do. But once they're 4, they should have had enough of an environment with numbers and counting and using those mathematical terminology like less than, more than, smaller, larger, bigger than, 1 + 1 equals, that they can then build their knowledge from there and understand the concepts of maths. And there are so many areas of maths that we talk about. So remember that the more you use it in your life, the easier it is for the kids. I remember I had some little ones and they just loved adding up. They were about 4 years of age, and I gave them a pack of flashcards that just had a whole heap of numbers from 1 to 20 in them. And so I think there were about 3 packs of cards, and I just said, "Oh, can you add these up for me?" And it was so funny. They laid them all the way around the room and started adding them up, and then they came to me and they go, "Is it 426? And I went, "I don't know, go check your work." And then they went round and they counted it again, and it was 426. They came back with the same answer again. So that was a great way. They love big numbers. Little kids love the big numbers. So if you can get them so that they can do their counting and it's really intrinsic and they really understand the value of the number, then they just love doing higher and higher numbers and being able to count. And make sure you celebrate that with them. You know, when they start their counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, yay, you did it! You know, give them big cuddles and tell them how clever they are, because really it's quite an advanced thing to be able to do any numbers. So make sure that you just give them lots of praise when they do a really good job. Now, if they know how to count to 5 really easily, don't praise them then. But if they just do a little bit more and they stretch their knowledge just that little bit more, that's when you praise them. Because praise unwarranted really does nothing but damage to your child. So make sure that you praise them for things that they know that they've done a good job in. So that's all for addition and operations. It's been heaps of information in this session, and I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've found lots of information for yourself. Remember to go slowly. You've got lots of time, so just take it one by one. Start using that language so that the kids understand it, and just have lots of fun, because maths is really part of everyday life. Thanks for listening to Life Unravelled Pre-Numeracy. We've had a great time, and there's still more in the course to do, so I look forward to seeing you next time. Check out Life Unravelled for any new courses that have become available. See ya, bye.